Hi, I'm Rachel Collins, and today I want to tell you it is okay to stop breastfeeding. I'm going to cover some of the reasons why you might want to stop. I'm going to signpost you to some resources in case you decide you want to keep trying, and hopefully I'm going to help you get rid of some of that guilt around your decision. Okay, so I am a massive breastfeeding advocate. It's fabulous nutrition for baby. It's great for the mother-baby bond. It's brilliant in terms of cancer risk reduction for mum. The longer you feed, the more you are protecting yourself from cancer. But the most important thing for me is that bond between mother and child. Now, if it doesn't matter how old your baby is or how old your toddler is, if the breastfeeding relationship is damaging that bond instead of cementing the bond, it might be a good thing for you to stop breastfeeding. So let's look through some of the reasons why you might be tempted to stop. One of the first reasons that people talk about stopping breastfeeding is because of extreme pain. Now, pain is exhausting, and pain will make you resent the little one that is attached to you. Now, I'm not talking about, the kind of temporary pain you get when maybe baby's latch changes because they've just got a new tooth. That tends to go once they get used to the new positioning of things. And I'm not really talking about the pain that you get at the beginning that most people get as their kind of breasts get and their nipples get used to feeding. You do get sore nipples at the beginning, and anyone who says it doesn't hurt, well, either they're very lucky or they're lying. It normally does hurt a bit, but it tends to pass. That pain is generally, it's temporary. But extreme pain that's persistent and is there all the time is exhausting, and I can absolutely understand that it would make you want to stop. Now, if anyone says that it hurts, to me, they say it hurts and it's continuing to hurt and they've been feeding for months and months and they still get extreme pain, I would say get the baby's latch checked, it might be that baby's not latching properly. It might be that baby's actually got a problem in terms of tongue tie or lip tie. Get to a specialist and get checked out properly. The other thing that can cause ongoing pain at kind of actually any point in your breastfeeding journey is oral thrush. And what happens is the thrush gets passed from baby's mouth to your nipple and then back from the nipple to your baby's mouth. And I'm going to do another video on how to recognise the signs and symptoms of thrush and actually how to treat and prevent it naturally. But if you think that thrush might be a problem and you're kind of cross-infecting between each other, get that checked out by a medical professional. Because that can cause pain and discomfort as well. So another reason you might be considering stopping breastfeeding is just because baby's having real trouble with her or his latch. There are lots and lots of people out there that can help you with this. You can try a lactation consultant, you can try going to breastfeeding support clinics, speaking to your midwife. It's absolutely worth reaching out to whatever support services you've got in your local area to help baby latch. But I have to be honest with you, as much as people say that latching is natural and all newborns know how to do it, not every baby does. Some have actual problems in terms of tongue tie and lip tie, and that makes a difference to their latch. My eldest never latched, and she didn't seem to have any problem whatsoever. I had lots of people check her latch. I went to the clinics, I had the consultants come to the house. I must have seen 10 different midwives. No one found a reason why my baby couldn't latch. And I wish someone had just said to me, it's okay to stop trying now. I mean, I persevered for a very long time with a screaming, hungry baby, a very stressed out mummy, and she was never going to do it. She just simply refused the breast. So if you really do want to keep persevering and trying, reach out and ask for some help with the latch. But otherwise, sometimes that is a valid reason to stop. Poor milk supply. This is something that a lot of mums worry about. Now, when you're breastfeeding, you can't see how much milk your baby's getting. It's much easier if you're putting the milk in a bottle. You can count exactly how many millilitres or exactly how many ounces of milk your baby's consuming. And as a breastfeeding mum, you do kind of have to almost let go of that control. You need to be able to say, have faith that your baby is getting what they need. Now, if you've got a baby that seems to be crying all the time, that seems insatiable and just wants feeding and feeding and feeding, maybe you feel like your milk supply is dropping, or maybe your baby isn't growing fast enough. Now, there are a few things that will lower your milk supply. Stress absolutely is one of them. Exhaustion, illness, drugs, whether that's prescription drugs for any kind of complications you've had or any illness you've had, or whether it's recreational drugs. There are, and some people do just struggle with their milk supply. It's actually not very many people. And there are an awful lot of ways that you can increase your milk supply, whether that's through stress reduction, nutrition and diet management, and herbs as well can make a big difference. So if you are worried about your milk supply, and it's tempting to quit breastfeeding because of poor milk supply, please reach out to somebody to get some help with that. Please get in touch with me. I can work with you on improving your milk supply. It's, if it really is a problem and baby's severely losing weight and you're worried, it may absolutely be a reason for you to quit breastfeeding. But if you're desperate to keep going, then reach out for some help. Okay, so there might be some kind of more lifestyle reasons why you need to stop breastfeeding. Perhaps you're going back to work and pumping and dealing with the kind of engorgement and being away from baby really isn't going to work. That's okay. Some of us need to go back to work. Some of us really want to go back to work, and that's absolutely fine as well. It doesn't matter how old your baby or your toddler or your child is. If you crave your career and you crave something to do that is not looking after your child 24/7, that's absolutely fine, and it is okay. Perhaps you've got your baby has got older siblings who are struggling with the fact that you are putting so much of your time into feeding the newest arrival in the family. And maybe that really is causing some resentment and some problems in the family, and maybe that's why you want to consider stopping breastfeeding. I'm sure there's plenty of advice out there that you can find around how to continue the bond with older siblings, but if it's really causing a rift in the family, maybe you want to stop breastfeeding. That's okay. Maybe you're feeling uncomfortable about breastfeeding, and you're feeling uncomfortable about breastfeeding in public. Maybe your child is getting older now and you just feel uncomfortable telling people. And if that's the reason why you stopped, even though actually deep down you kind of want to continue your breastfeeding journey, that would make me really sad. And I hope that if you're tempted to stop because of kind of external pressures, you'd reach out to some people like myself who can tell you that it's perfectly normal and natural, but also reach out to other groups, other support groups. I mean, there's even a fabulous Facebook group for supporting mums who are breastfeeding older babies and older toddlers. There is a lot of support for people out there, so it's really, really worth reaching out. But if you're actually just really uncomfortable feeding your baby or feeding your toddler, it might be a reason to stop. Okay, so we've talked a little bit about extreme pain and thrush, but I haven't yet mentioned mastitis. Maybe you keep getting mastitis, maybe you keep getting really poorly with this, and I can completely understand that would be a good reason to stop. Now, I'm going to post another video on recognising the symptoms and also treating and preventing mastitis naturally. It is incredibly painful. It can really knock you out as well. I mean, wipe you out, and not getting out of bed for days, kind of wiping you out. It's not a nice thing to have to go through. And I completely understand if you're getting regular infections like that, maybe you would like to stop, and that's okay. Night feeds. Ugh. Exhaustion is horrendous. The sleep deprivation you can go through if you are feeding a child through the night, and maybe for you, as it was for me actually, maybe you've been feeding a child through the night for years. That's just exhausting, and it can definitely make you want to stop. And if you are that tired, it's okay to stop. But another option is to night wean. And this is what I did after about 18 months of getting up every single night, whether I was well or poorly or tired or not. 18 months of getting up every single night to feed my baby through the night absolutely drained me. It actually made me really sick. I got the flu. No one else in my family got it. I'm a health coach. I should know how to look after myself, but I still got very, very, very sick, and I was really poorly with the flu, in bed for about 3 weeks. And that's when I knew I had to night wean. I didn't want to stop breastfeeding. I wasn't ready to stop breastfeeding, but I knew something had to change. So I night weaned. And there's lots of resources out there to help you come up with a plan of how to night wean. But essentially, it is perfectly doable to stop feeding your baby through the night but continue your breastfeeding journey through the day. So perhaps that's an option for you. Perhaps the thought of actually stopping breastfeeding because you're so tired from all these night feeds makes you a little bit sad, and you'd like to find a way to continue. How would it sound if I said to you, yeah, it's possible just to feed baby or your child when they wake up, maybe have a couple of feeds in the day if that's what you want to do, and then a feed at bedtime, and then sleeping at night. Wow. Or if they wake up, it doesn't have to be you that goes to them because they're not waking up for the breast. Wow. If that idea gets you excited, consider night weaning. If you're just absolutely shattered and you need to stop, that's okay too. My final piece of advice is to find someone to talk it through with. You can talk it through with a healthcare professional, your GP, a doctor, a midwife, health visitor, someone like me. I'm happy to chat to you if you want to talk through the pros and cons of stopping. You need to be really, really honest with yourself. What is working for you and your baby? What's not working for you and your baby? A stressed out and unhappy mummy is going to do far more damage to your baby than a bottle of formula will or a glass of cow's milk. If you're struggling, it is okay to stop. I really hope that you found this video helpful. If you like what I'm talking about, hit the subscribe button. And if you know of any other mums who could do with hearing this, make sure you share it with them. As always, all the links to the resources I've mentioned are below the video. I'd love to hear about your experiences. Please post below and tell me how you have made the decision to stop or not stop. If you have any resources to help others that might be struggling with the things that we've talked about, please post them below. And if there's anything you're struggling with, you can either comment below to ask for help, or you can get in touch with me directly.